Hi everyone, I'm Shruti Vijayavargi from BISP Solutions, and this video I'm going to tell you how to create line charts, and with legends we can create line charts in R. So line chart or a line graph is a type of chart which displays information as a series of data points called markers connected by straight line segments. It is a basic type of chart common in many fields. So in R, the chart is created line chart is created by using the lines function, and it does take the argument x, y, and type. The type can have the following types of values: p for denoting points, l for lines, o for overplotted points and lines, p and c, that means it create points and connected it by lines, and S for stair steps, H for histogram, and N, it does not produce any lines. And also you must note that the lines function adds information to a graph. It cannot produce a graph on its own. So it usually follows a plot xy command that produces a graph. So for this purpose, we have to go to our R Studio, and we can create a simple graph. I have a data file which contains the rainfall details of 4 major cities, and I'm going to first read it and import it from my PC and store it in the variable ren. So for that purpose you have to write read.csv and file.choose function for selecting the file, and header equals to true. It denotes that this file must have header values. So must select your file from your desktop. So here's my data. There's a 12 months rainfall details of 4 countries: Tokyo, New York, London, Berlin. And then we have to attach this file to our R's memory. Now, so the first thing we have to do is go to the file menu and new script. Because the code is too lengthy, I just copy paste it and explain. So first thing is the plot function, and it does take the arguments. The first thing is the Tokyo, which is the first city. Then the type is B, that means I've already discussed about the type, that it produces the points with lines, and LWD for the lines width, and XAXT is it is connected with the x-axis for denoting the values of x-axis, and y limit I set it to 0 to 300 because I think my rainfall is under 300, and the color is black for the Tokyo line segment. X left for naming the name of the x-axis, and y left for naming the name of the y-axis, so month and rainfall. And main is the title of your graph. So my title is monthly rainfall in major cities. Now the axis axis is used to set the values for the axis. So 1 means that x-axis. If I write 2, that means for y-axis. So 1 denoting the x-axis at 1 colon length month. So the month is my variable of my data, and it should take the values of month column from first to the length of month. So it will take all the values from January to December. And labels, I label it with the month, and lines, and the other lines are created for the other cities. The first one for Berlin, New York, London. Color red, orange, purple. Type B, that means it will create the line with points, and LWD for the line width. The next thing is the legend. Legend, that means it will created in any side of the column where it details about the lines of your graph. So I place it in the top right corner. The other values, what it takes, it will takes the other values like bottom right, bottom, bottom left, top and right, and center. We can also specify the location of legend with x and y coordinates as well. Next, so the first argument denotes the position of the legend, and which is the top right. Next, pass the names of the countries for the legend. Next argument, the other important arguments are the LWD and LTY, which is specify the line width and type drawn in the legend box respectively. It is important to keep these the same as the corresponding values in the plot and lines commands. We also set pch equals to 21 to duplicate. The type is B, and in the plot command to replicate the type B argument in the plot command. And cx, here's the cx, and text dot call set the size and colors of the legend text. It will set the size, it will set the color for the legend: black, red, orange, purple. Note that we set the text colors to the same color as the lines they represent. That means black for the Tokyo must be same with the first one, red for the Berlin, orange for the New York, and purple for the London. So this is good practice as it keeps the look of the graph clean. An end call sets the number of columns over which the legend labels are spread, and inset sets the inset distance from the margins as a fraction of the plot region. So let's select all and run this. So this is how your line graph is created in R. So this is the month and its length from January to December according to the month columns of your table. This will be your legend, and this black color denotes the Tokyo rainfall, the red color denotes the Berlin rainfall, yellow color denotes the New York rainfall, and London denotes by the purple. And this is the rainfall limit. So this is a line chart is very helpful for denoting your data very simpler way. Now let's go ahead and take some changes to this legend. I am copy pasting this legend value in place of this, and this created another type of legend which is in a horizontal way. Okay, so how this is created, let's see here. In this particular, I have passed the value of x and y coordinates instead of keyword to the position of legend. So 1 to 300 x and y coordinates, and also I have set horizontal value to true. Horizontal makes the legend labels horizontal instead of the default vertical. And specifying whois overrides the end call argument. And finally we made the legend text bigger by setting cx equals to 1 and did not use the inset argument in this. And the color for your legend values and the cities of your legend values, LTY and LWD for the length and width. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do something different with our graph. While legends are the most commonly used method, of providing a key to read multiple variable graphs. And now we go ahead and make a grid around this. We will use the base graphics. So it is good practice to save your code as a script to use again later. So please must save your data. Now add and customize our data and make the grid. So use grid function. This will create grid around your data, around your graph, so that you can clearly visualize the values for your data. You can margin your data with the help of the grid. Now the grid function automatically calculates the number of cells in the grid and aligns with the tick marks on the default axis. It uses the AB-line function to draw the grid lines. We can also specify the location of grid lines using the NX and NY arguments corresponding to vertical and horizontal grid lines respectively. By default, these arguments are set to null, which results in the default grid lines in both x and y direction. If we do not wish to draw grid lines in a particular direction, we can set nx or ny to na. So for that, I am writing this code in place of this. So that means nx will be na, that means the grid for x-axis will not created, and ny equals to 8, that means the grid for y-axis will be created. Now if I run this code, so look at here, the grid for the x-axis are not created and y-axis grid lines will become 8. Okay. If nx is set to na, no vertical grid lines are drawn, and if ny is set to na, no horizontal lines are drawn. The default grid lines are very thin and light color, they are barely be seen. We can customize the styling on the grid lines using LWD, LTY and the color arguments. Now let's go ahead. Sometimes we may also want to draw one or a few lines to indicate a specific cutoff or threshold values. So for that purpose we will use the AB line function. I just write AB line and clear the grid value. So you can see here one specific line is created for the month of September because I write v equals to 9. Okay. And also to draw marker lines with AB line at a specific x and y location, we have to set the v or h arguments respectively. So in this I set v equals to 9, and now let's do something different and set the horizontal line to 150, color red, and LTY R. And now you can see here this particular line for the 150 mm is created. So this is how you can work with line charts in R. You can do so many customization with legends and with the grid lines also. So this is how line chart is work. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Thanks for watching.